Right, got that view. Well, on that note, Lupin's Q4 results shine with net profit doubling to 772 crore, driven by 19% revenue surge when it comes to North America, which now forms 41% of the global sales. We spoke to Ramesh Swaminathan, who's the executive director of Lupin, about the quarter gone by and outlook going forward. Listen in. I would say the highlighting part when it comes to Lupin. Now, what led to this growth, and is this growth sustainable going forward?
We have been actually working on a number of initiatives and to kind of improve upon launches in America. So, that has taken the shape of a lot of complex products over the past several quarters. This quarter, our good show could be attributed to continued good performance of Mirabegron that we launched beginning of this year. We continue to do well on our respiratory products, Albuterol, Spiriva, and the like. Apart from that, we of course launched Rivaroxaban during this quarter, which has also totaled up decent numbers. And apart from that, we also have prednisolone and of course the conventional inline products as well. So the top line, of course, has exhibited pretty good numbers over the last several quarters, and that momentum will continue in the future as well, given the kind of launches that we have lined up for the coming quarters. We launched, as you would know, Tolvaptan, which is of course a pretty large molecule, a couple of days ago. And that we have an exclusivity which will go on for 6 months. So we believe that would also total a pretty decent set of numbers. Equally, we have a lot of good products coming up over the next several quarters, especially when it comes to respiratory products, the complex injectables part, the 505(b)(2)s that we're working on. So I think we are fairly optimistic about continued good performance in America.
Got it. And also in FY26, Lupin was expecting to be a $1 billion plus company when it comes to US business. So are you on track?
Yes, we believe so. So we just spoke about Tolvaptan, and that would potentially be, a very large product for us in the quarters to come. Clearly, with that, and of course the continued good performance of the molecules that we launched in the recent past, Mirabegron would certainly continue, and of course the respiratory products, Albuterol, we have Spiriva, Zopinex. So I think it's clearly possible to sustain this momentum.
Got it. And also, sir, on the India business, if you see what's the outlook there, because there was a big challenge when it comes to, your respiratory portfolio. And when do you expect this to bounce back? And rather, when can we see double-digit growth when it comes to your India business?
The respiratory portfolio, the industry itself has actually not done too well. It's been, lackluster over the in fact, the full year, I would say that has not been that great. So we continue to kind of focus on that because it's, of course, of great interest to us globally as well as in India. We are the first to launch, in fact, the India's first triple drug combination, LABA/LAMA ICDS combination with Vilentrol a few quarters ago. So clearly that's important. But overall, we are a little disappointed with our overall results in India, but in this particular quarter. But for the full year, of course, we were a tad above the overall market rate, the market growth rate. But that said, we have a continued good performance when it comes to cardiovascular. We're particularly happy with, in fact, our performance on GI. But they've also suffered a little in terms of loss of exclusivity when it comes to diabetes products. This particular quarter, for example, we had a couple of those going, the empagliflozin and its range of products. We got impacted because of that, because it went generic. Apart from that, I think, of course, you just spoke about respiratory. But clearly, we are optimistic about the future, given our plans to focus on our strategy of looking at more feet on the ground, looking at a differentiated portfolio, perhaps licensing products, and of course, at some point of time, looking at M&A in India.
Okay, and on the Mirabegron status, what is the kind of liability that you may have after the litigation that's going on?
I think the last word has not been said on that. The court opined on only one aspect of several things that we are fighting about. So it's not really a setback from our perspective, because there are clearly other defenses that we have, and including things on the non-infringing process. So it will be some time before a final decision is cast on this. So possibly sometime next year. So we have also not been, injuncted from selling the products. We continue to do this, and it's grossing up decent numbers for us.
Okay, and also, so your cost optimization strategy has, really contributed when it comes to your improved EBITDA margin, and also I think the improved margin is flowing from the improvement that you've seen in the US business as well. So going ahead in the next, 12 to 18 months, what kind of margin performance are you seeing? Because you guided 20 to 24% in FY25. What's the outlook when it comes to FY26? Can you see more improvement from here?
Clearly, the buoyancy on the top line will continue, and the reasons were, obviously our continued good performance when it comes to products that we just launched, and the step up on tolvaptan during the course of the next several quarters, and clearly, as you clearly mentioned, there is a lot of emphasis on reining in costs. A lot of the initiatives that you've taken in recent times, things like routes to synthesis, alternate vendor development, focusing on productivity across various lines, be it at the sales force, at the R&D level, at the manufacturing level, and all of that. All of this have borne fruit and have resulted in, fact, EBITDA margins which are continuously rising. I would also add, we still have, in fact, the adjacencies which are loss-making from our perspective. The diagnostics, the digital, the CDMO business, the OTC business. And they, in fact, total up close to about 4 percentage points loss of EBITDA margin, so to speak. And as and when they evolve and grow, which will happen over the next 2 to 3 years, I would expect margins to certainly continue to certainly increase. So there is a lot of optimism from our perspective. Even in this particular quarter, 23.2%, this is after taking into account a larger R&D spend and a lower PLI. So clearly, the spread in margins is certainly is increasing.
Well, this was Lupin on Q4 FY25 numbers and the outlook going ahead. But moving on, while speaking in Qatar, US President Donald Trump